Excel workbooks are made up of worksheets, and as you see in this workbook, I have multiple worksheets, all of them named to tell me what's on each sheet. As I click on the sheet tabs, the view changes to display that worksheet, much like flipping through the tabs on folders in a file drawer. Now, when I start a new workbook, which I can do by pressing Control-N as in new, or choosing New from the File tab, Excel gives me a brand new workbook with one starter worksheet called Sheet 1. As I'm going to need more sheets, I can add them quickly and easily by clicking the small plus sign to the right of the tabs. Each click adds a new sheet, as they're numbered consecutively, and I now have sheets 1, 2, 3, and 4. Note that each new sheet appears to the right of the active sheet. So now when I click on Sheet 2 and then click the new sheet plus sign, Sheet 5 appears next to that, rather than falling in right after Sheet 4. Knowing this will help you in the future so you know how to control where a new sheet will appear. Now, to rename your sheets, because Sheet 1 and Sheet 2 aren't really useful names, just double-click the current name. This highlights the name, and then the name you type replaces it. You can either press Enter or click in a cell on the sheet to commit to the new name. I'm going to name my sheets for the first quarter of the year, January, February, and March. To rearrange your sheets, just drag them with your mouse. Here, I'll move one of the yet unnamed sheets and place it in front of the January sheet, and then I'm going to rename it Summary. Notice the little triangles that appear as you drag the sheet tabs. As I no longer need the last unnamed sheet, I'll right-click it and choose Delete from the pop-up menu, and without any hesitation, the sheet is gone. Now, if your sheet has content in it, as I'll simulate by adding content to one of the cells in one of the remaining sheets, if you right-click and choose Delete then, a prompt appears asking you to confirm that you intend to delete the sheet. It's just a safeguard to protect you from accidentally deleting data you didn't mean to lose. I'm going to click Cancel and not delete this sheet. Now, as I showed you earlier, you can rearrange your sheets by dragging them, but you can also make copies of them to move to another spot in the same workbook or to copy to a different workbook entirely. So if I right-click on the summary sheet and choose Move or Copy from the pop-up menu, I get a dialog box. In the dialog box, I can click the Create a Copy checkbox and then choose a different workbook to copy the sheet to. I can also choose where within that workbook sheets to add the copied sheet by clicking on one of them in the list of sheets. After I click OK, note that I now have a copy of the new summary sheet, a copy of the original one, in the other workbook. Now when I switch back to the original workbook, the one with the new sheets that I just created, notice that I can do the same thing, but within the current workbook. And now I'll have a copy of summary, and note that Excel puts a 2 at the end of the sheet name, so I know it's a duplicate. And here's a tip. If you'd rather to copy sheets within the same workbook, you can just drag the existing sheet while pressing the Control key. That too will make a copy of the sheet, but only within the same workbook. Now, I don't need those duplicates, so I'm going to right-click them and delete them as I showed you earlier. but with a slight variation. So with Summary 3 selected, I'll Control-click on Summary 2. Notice both sheets are selected because their sheet tab names are bold. Now when I right-click on either of them and choose Delete, both of them are removed. So it's up to you how many sheets you have, what they're called, and the order they appear in the workbook, or any workbook. You're in control.